All right, we've got our first really big looking water crossing to get through here. Ran into some guys on ATVs who said a couple of forerunners crossed here successfully yesterday, but then another guy on an ATV said it's way too soft, don't do it.
Onyx Off-Road presents Bucket Trip, Alaska.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bucket Trip 3. We are in Alaska, currently camped on a riverbed. We're about to head up an old mining road built in the 1920s. How are you feeling about this old rugged mining trail this morning, Mr. Recon?
If anybody knows anything about me, I love mines and any kind of history about mining, gold rush, all that stuff. So this is right up my alley.
Yeah, me too. All right, I got to get my truck packed up, get ready to go, and we're going to roll out. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, do all that fun stuff for me. I appreciate you.
The trip has been getting more rugged as we go, and it's been a really good time. The last couple of trails we took, though, we couldn't make it to our planned destination due to snow on the trail. We really wanted to overcome that.
Road. Close to a dozen water crossings that can be up to 2+ feet deep with strong currents depending on the seasonal snow melt. If you guys want to be able to find trails like this, you can see how this is highlighted in blue on our map. This is Onyx Off-Road. You can download it from the link in my description and save 20% on your membership using my link, which also helps support the channel, which I appreciate. And then you can click the other link in my description, which is going to give you all of the waypoints and the entire route that we took on this trip. We're hoping this trail is going to take us to some views of the tallest mountain in North America. Maybe see some wildlife. We don't know what to expect really, but we're excited to go explore.
These mountains are incredible, but now there's some snow on the trail, and I gotta be honest, I'm a little sketched out with the snow on the trail and a nice cliff. The views might be good, but I'm white knuckling it here for a minute.
As we were headed down the trail, I heard a weird banging sound under the trail B&B.
All right, which side is it on?
Over here, you see?
Oh, over that side?
Big ass rock right there.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to push it through. I can probably pull it through here. I just couldn't pull it through the pallet. Just come over and get your hand in there and push it towards me, and then I can grab it. You really need to come far.
There.
Yep. Oh,
It must have gone in through the hole on the outside, eh?
look at that big rock. Still had in there.
There was a big rock in my wheel. So I was driving down this shelf road and hearing this weird metal clanking sound, and I thought something was broken. Turns out, big rock in my wheel. So got it out. This guy could have been a lot worse.
We were making it through the snow patches so far, and the views out here were awesome. And you know, as long as we're having fun, it doesn't matter where we end up. We were having fun.
Snow up at the top of this road, so we're gonna back down by the river here that we just crossed and then find somewhere to camp there. We're gonna camp out in the snow in the middle of nowhere in Alaska. We need some firewood. Not a lot of fallen trees out here, but I did eye this good looking thing right there. But I don't think I'm going to be able to move it. It's bigger than it looks.
This was a lot more effort than it was really worth.
I caught one. Thanks. It's the best I could do. There's not a lot of fallen trees in Alaska, apparently.
It'll work.
I don't know if it'll work or not. It's actually still got stuff growing on it, so pretty fresh. Looks like it just broke off recently. Okay. But it's the best I could find. All right, well, unfortunately, we got snowed out yet again trying to get up this trail, but that's okay. We're gonna do a little snow camping. We found ourselves a nice spot here, flattened it out a bit with the trucks. It's right next to a creek here, so I'm gonna try and do some gold panning later, but first I'm gonna get everything all set up, and yeah, this is all right. We're out here, we're in Alaska. Not bad for a snow camp, right?
Dude, this is all right.
It's not the desert, but it'll do.
Not the desert.
Look at you looking all Canadian with your t-shirt on in the snow.
Dude, shoveling snow is hard work, man.
Yeah.
Down on the banks of the Old Man River, heavy air calling rain. They say if she keeps up and delivers, levee will break again. Tell me, what could you do there when the river comes a-calling? Bend a knee and pray that you can stay in the good grace of the water. Storm, she stalled and danced. Days of rain and wind and mist hanging in the valley. Victim of a circumstance. Try your hand at sand, but no, the banks ain't holding. Old Man River rising 3 foot by the hour. Drop your bags and run, you know, surrender time has come.
Cheers. To the best fire ever created in a snow camp.
Thank you, Duraflame.
With chemicals. So this is an old prospector's trail built in the 1920s, which means they were looking for gold, which means there might be gold out here that hasn't been found. Seems unlikely, but there is a creek right over here, and I feel it would only be appropriate for me to see what there is to be found.
I forgot my gold pin.
Oh man, well you can try mine if you want. You just got to follow the moose tracks down to the creek. I think those are moose tracks. I mean, those are big tracks.
Yeah.
I feel like my odds are pretty good at finding gold here.
Well, he's a fool for gold. Yes, he's a fool for gold. Sean thinks he can find gold, but all he found is the wild Alaskan cold. Well, he's a
There is no gold in this creek. Unfortunate. Brad is cooking up some ravioli, I believe.
Trying.
How goes the ravies?
Well, we got water boiling, so if that all goes well, we should have ravioli in about 5 or 10 minutes.
Excellent. It is another day here on Bucket Trip 3. We got to head back over this pass and out of here because this worked out, even though it didn't work out. But we're not going to be able to go any further. And Brad says he's got a surprise stop for me. So I'm interested to see what that is. And then we're going to make our way to the Knik Glacier. Brad, you ready to get this bucket rolling again?
I am, but I'm going to miss this spot, man. I think this is going to be one of the most memorable campsites of the trip.
Definitely. We had a good time here.
We did have a good time.
We'd been on the go for days, and taking an afternoon just to relax and enjoy camp was much needed. And we had a great time as well. But now it was time to head back over the Shelf Road.
We are back on the highway. I don't know where we're going. Brad's got some kind of surprise location for me, so I'm excited to see where we're going to end up today. And then after we do that, we'll start looking for somewhere to camp as we head towards the Knik Glacier, which is going to be our destination tomorrow, and one of the things I'm most excited about on this whole trip. All right, Brad has brought us to the Transportation and Industry Museum of Alaska.
Brad and I both love history, so a place like this is the right stop for a quick break from the trails.
I love old cars, dude, like, always.
Yeah, I drive one of these.
Heck yeah, I drive the president's car.
This is the president's car?
President Harding.
Look at this computer. (1944) Diston, official saw of the World War II U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. 48-inch two-man chainsaw.
That's awesome.
We're two men. Cool. Dude, it would be so cool to get one of these running and take it out. Got some old trains out here. Some cool stuff.
Alaska history.
Alaska history. So right now we are in the last caboose ever used on the last wooden caboose ever used on the Alaska Railway. This is built in 1917. It's pretty cool. It's got these bunks because I guess people slept in here, but I like train. Wooden stove inside the train. That is a big airplane. All right, after a lot of driving from the museum, we have made it to the trailhead for our next location. We're gonna head out and find a nice place to camp on the beach out here tonight. It is unfortunately super windy, so hopefully that doesn't make things too unpleasant, but in the morning we are gonna head up all the way to a glacier, which should be amazing. Ready to get sandblasted?
I hope not. I'm looking forward to this trail, but I don't want to get destroyed.
Yeah, hopefully this wind ends pretty soon.
Yeah, let's hope.
I don't know if you can see on the camera how much the dust is just whipping around in here, but man, it's super windy. Way at the end of this river valley, there's a glacier right there. And we're gonna drive all the way up the riverbed right to the glacier tomorrow. It's gonna be awesome if we survive this windstorm. All right, we made the call. It's too windy to camp out on the riverbed. We found our spot here kind of tucked in between the trees, and we'll wait out the windstorm and head out to the glacier in the morning. Warmer here.
It's, you know, it's not the most scenic spot we've ever camped at, but at least we'll get a good night's rest.
It's of necessity.
Yeah, it's really of necessity. We do have the peak of the mountain over there, which isn't bad.
Yeah. It's pointy. All right, it's morning. Conditions are not ideal, but it is time to head to the glacier and we'll see how it goes. You feeling good about this?
I'm feeling good about this.
All right.
We were pretty excited as we headed onto the glacier trail. We weren't even into the good stuff yet, and Alaska was already showing us some incredible scenery. But up ahead, there's several river crossings we're going to have to tackle.
All right, we've got our first really big looking water crossing to get through here. It's very silty, so you can't tell how deep it is. That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Throw it in the middle. See if you can get like spirit. No, that didn't help.
Failure.
Do we want to go talk to these guys?
I just think that that's probably the better, because it's shorter. It might be deep right there, but you'll come right out onto that sandbar.
Yeah.
So let's go do that.
Ran into some guys on ATVs who said a couple of forerunners crossed here successfully yesterday, but then another guy on an ATV said it's way too soft, don't do it. I stepped my feet in there and it seemed pretty solid on the bottom. The problem is we don't know how deep it is in the middle. I think it's going to be pretty darn deep, but at least it's not too short. It's like maybe 3 vehicle lengths across. Also, I'm going to send Brad first. Brad, how you feeling?
Yay me!
What's your strategy? You going to go slow or are you going to send it?
I'm not gonna send it. I think I'm gonna, as long as the bottom feels good, I'm just gonna take it nice and easy. The water I don't think is rushing too hard, so it shouldn't push me around.
Brad's just like, we're on an adventure. Let's give it a try. It looks pretty deep, but we're gonna try and make it across. I'm just thinking out loud here.
Yeah.
Maybe I should position my truck at the back there in case anything goes wrong. We can quickly get a line on you.
Yeah, it's probably not a bad idea to have stuff ready to go.
I have to give Brad a lot of credit here. He dove right in with no solid evidence that this was crossable.
Yeah. Yeah. That was fine. That was awesome. It's more than fine. It was so good. That was so deep. Water was right up over my hood. We're following the Glacier Melt River all the way up to the glacier. Right there. These water crossings are crazy.
They're a little deep.
That was intense. This trail's awesome. I'm having fun. Same. That is the Connect Glacier over there in the background. It is extremely windy right here. I have to stand behind my truck just so that I'm not getting blown away and you can actually hear what I'm saying. We can see the glacier now. We've still got a little bit of trail to go up through the mountains here, it looks like. And then hopefully we can get right up close to it and see some ice and stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be
for
cool.
Sure.
Excited?
Yeah, ice and stuff.
Yeah, isn't this great?
It's awesome.
Pretty tight. Indeed.
downside to having a large, comfortable, and spacious overland travel vehicle is, occasionally, you end up somewhere just a bit too narrow, and things crawl to a snail's pace as you try and squeeze through without damaging your truck.
There we go. Whew. Not great. So we still got quite a long ways to go. I don't know how long we're going to be in this tight tree section, but man, it is not friendly to the B&B.
I think you're just gonna hit small stuff. Yeah, you got it.
No. Well, just wrecked my roof rack.
I think over the 3 bucket trips now that we've done, tight trails seem to be one of our biggest challenges. Sean he's wide and he's tall, and the good news is if he can get through it, I can get through it. But I'm leading today, and we're having to kind of cut some branches and pull some things back. He's definitely getting some wear and tear on that 4-wheel camper, but we're gonna make it through.
We're only about not even halfway through the tree section. Yeah, that happened to me too.
The challenges and the beauty of this trail had me hooked. I was loving all of it, and the best was still to come.
You can see the bottom almost all the way through. You're just gonna have to watch those 2 trees.
Beautiful in here when it's not trying to kill my truck with branches. Ugh. Ugh.
We'd finally made it out of the trees and back to the riverbed as we approached the Knik Glacier.
Heard really loud helicopters overhead, and I looked up and there's 2 helicopters refueling from a big jet, or not a jet, but from a big like military plane. That was super cool. All right, guys, we made it to the glacier. It's super windy, super cold, but it's absolutely incredible out here. So right now, Brad and I are gonna go for a swim in the glacier water.
I'm gonna watch you go for a swim in the glacier water.
Look at that. Really?
Come on.
Yes.
Okay, we're sinking.
We're
doing good until Sean got in here.
Hey, what are you saying? Woo!
I think you're gonna have to go back first.
You don't say.
Yeah.
See if I can push it off. I'm coming back.
All right. Oh, easy.
We're in Alaska, standing on a glacier. Woo! Woo! I don't want to get off. It's too cool. Whoa! 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 It's tipping.
You want to get off?
I think we want to get off the glacier. Woo! This is why we do it, guys. You get to see places like this. It's amazing. We found a campsite right next to the ice. This will do just nicely.
found the best campsite of the trip so far, there was only one thing left to do: celebrate with some ice-cold beverages.
All the wood out here is pretty wet, but I cut some up and chopped up some pieces, and we're trying to get a bit of a campfire going. Solid mission accomplished.
I'm stubborn. Oh. I'm out here on a tour bus.
No, this is the only way. This is why we do it. Everything's moving. Look at that. Whole bunch of huge pieces of ice just collapsed off of this piece over here. And then everything moved. It was so loud. Man, I didn't capture it, but like this big mound of ice out here, 2 huge chunks of it fell off, and then the whole thing just started moving, and everything started moving, and the water started coming up. It was crazy. Literally took my breath away.
That's cool.